Alrighty, what's going on YouTube world? It's been a while since I've made a YouTube video. So I'll make a interesting, maybe slightly bit boring video on compression tester. Compression tester is there to check the well-being of the engine. Compression tester, it'll check, does your engine have compression to start? If you got less than 100 psi, your engine is likely not to start. Okay, so but before you do that, before you even attempt of using a compression tester, make sure you take the motorcycle for a nice long ride, good 10 minutes ride. You want to make sure that your battery is in at least a little over 13 volts. All right, you want to make sure your solenoid, when you start the bike, it doesn't make. You want to make sure that your valve clearance is in spec. Generally, a motorcycle that's valve clearance is not in spec. There's lots of other videos online to check how to adjust your valve clearance. So keep in mind, if your valve clearance is not in spec, good chance your bike will struggle to start. And the last thing I want to do is use a choke. Keep in mind, I only use the choke early hours of the morning, because at like 6:10 in the morning, I use the choke because the engine is cold, very cold. And after work at about 4:30, a couple of hours later, bike starts first time, and I just give the throttle. I do not have to operate the choke whatsoever. So you want to make sure your battery is in good working order. You want to make sure your solenoid is not making a click noisy. If your solenoid is making a click noise, the solenoid over here, it's a good chance that your solenoid is buggered. So it's battery, solenoid, and again, of course, your spark plug and your HD coil. HD coil's over here, right over there. I don't know if you can see it over there. There's your HD coil. Okay, so that electrical thing should be in good working order. Otherwise, your motorcycle is not likely to start. All right. I removed the spark plug. I've installed it back into the spark plug in the cap. I want to start it up and see, does she? You can see she's a bit black. She's running a bit rich, but rather to rich than to lean. Because if it's running lean, you're likely to burn a hole in your bloody piston over there. Okay. So I want to put it against there. Make sure the bike's in neutral. Okay. Let's just make sure the motorcycle's in neutral here. Okay, yeah, she's in neutral. Okay, I'm gonna now press the start button and see what happens. Let's just see what happens here. Oops. I only do this one and it's a bit tricky. So I want to see if my spark plug is working. I can see the compression over there. All you want to do is hold this damn thing, because this thing will choke you. It will shock you. Can't really see here because of the light. Okay. I have faith in my spark plug, and I have faith in my compression over here. But in any case, just to show you guys what a compression tester is to check. Compression tester is there to check, have you got compression? If you got less than 100 psi, that likely means that your piston rings are worn, your piston are worn, and they're not mating properly with the cylinder walls. All right, because that has to seal off. The piston and the piston rings are there to seal off the combustion area, all right, on against the walls of the cylinder. So you've got your cylinder here, you've got your head, all right, and you've got your valves. So basically, you want to check if your valve seats are seating properly. You want to make sure that your head gasket is sealing properly, and again, your piston rings and your piston are sealing properly against the cylinder walls. Okay, so what we can do over here is now, I'm sorry about the spark, we cannot see the spark now because it's a bit light. Let's install our compression tester. All right, let's install this tool. All right, then I have to, let's install this thing over here. This is going to tell us how the engine is performing still. Right, sorry, I'm going to have to put the video on pause here. All right, one sec. Alrighty, I just installed my compression tester over here. Keep in mind, like I said before, anything below 100 psi, engine is likely not to start, because you've got piston rings worn, pistons worn, cylinders worn, excessive worn. You've got gaskets that are worn, and then again you've got your valve clearance, your valve seats not sitting properly, or your valve clearance not in spec. All right. So what I'll do over here, I'm going to hold open the throttle wide open, and I press the start button. Okay, and we're going to see how much she goes up. Okay, let's just use on 0 here. I'm going to now throttle wide open, and I'm going to press start. Okay, she's gone up to 100, I would say about 145 psi. 145 psi. Okay, so what now? Test number 2. And do this. 145 psi. Test number 2. All right. Let's just put the engine off here. Okay, let's just loosey this. That's what I'm gonna do over here. Test number 2. We'll put the video on pause. Okay. What I got here, I've got some oil. I've got a teaspoon and a funnel. All right. I'm gonna install the funnel over there, and I'm gonna drop a little bit of oil down here. A teaspoon of oil over there. Okay. That's gonna raise the compression. Okay. Okay. Put the video on pause and show you as we go along. Okay. Okay, we got the funnel ready and we got a teaspoon of oil over here. Okay, this is test number 2. We want to see how much compression this motorcycle has lost. You don't want to throw any more than this down your cylinder. Okay, all right. Okay, test number 2. We're going to reinstall our hose and our gauge, and we're going to start the bike again. All right. Just trust me as we go along. Okay, the compression test is reinstalled for the second time with the oil. Okay, the oil is there to seal off the combustion area over here. Right, you'll see it back on 0. What we do over here, we're going to restart the bike and see how much it goes up. Okay, throttle wide open, press start. Okay, so she was 145. She's gone up by, I would say, how much is it? I would say about 155. So she's gone up by 10 psi. So she was at 145, she's gone up by 10 psi. So the engine has lost 10 psi over a course of, I've owned this motorcycle since 2012. So she's got a compression loss of 10 psi. Right, let's see, 45, 5, yeah, let's say 10 psi over a course of 64,000 kilometers. Right, 64,000 kilometers. That means my engine is good to go. Right, hope that makes sense to anyone that's attempting to do compression test on a motorcycle. It's a very, very versatile tool to have. It's just to see the well-being of the engine, how far the engine is, how much life the engine has still got. Okay, thank you.